Ralocha, hello, hi everybody. Nalinala ka ke nna Mantala. I am an artist and welcome to Spread the Word. Right about now, I'm going to share a poem titled Mala wa Modimo because it speaks to my heart and also I am promoting the word. So I thought this could be the word that I'm spreading, and it goes. Ka hlahlathela mmila wa o hloka mmala ka wela ka hoelela lentswe la ka la utlwahala ka bonahala ka nyakalla ka phehella ka rapela ankotamisa mafilong a matala manaba ka lebelela antje a timela sifubeng sa hae ka robala ka tsoha lefatshe la ka le tletse mmala ka nnete ka ketwa ke halalela nase ya ke lebelela ke thodumela mathomo la mpya o gobola ke mmala ke a makala mohau wa hae wa nanzika anikankaka nishure anikambewu msaba wa minawa akanzi akaya ukanaka moyengo aka kaniti mohawa hai wananzika kalebo pelo ya ka ya thubeha meno masweu a tsheha wa sotleha wa swineha kelello ya ka ya baleha mmele wa ka wa tsebeha moya wa ka o aneha pelo ya ka ya thubeha athe morena o ntse a mpona ha ke lela jwalo a re ho nna re ke a o bona meno masweu a ho kokona ha o ka tla ho nna wa hlwekisa pelo wa bula pelo ke tla kena hare ha pelo ke etse pelo madulo o tla fola matswalo ka nnete ka bula pelo ka hlwekisa pelo morena a kena hare ha pelo a etsa pelo madulo ka fola matswalo jwale ke khotse ka mehla mohau wa modimo ke se ke tsamaela hodimo ke ledimo ke modimo ona leng badimo ke modimo ona leng modimo hodimo hamba hodimo ke modimo ona leng modimo hodimo ha badimo ke modimo ona leng modimo ke modimo ona leng badimo ke a leboha. What do you mean?
The last piece.
Oh, so you want 3 pieces?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, this guy. I don't know my poems by head. I seriously don't. But there is this one. Okay. So I don't need to explain what the poem is about. I can just go, ne?
Yes.
Okay. Ke mothalero wa mosekaseki le thabula re seka mabele maria re seka mafi ke ngwalenyana wa motokwa hana motokwana ke mothalero wa boramaita pitsi dinoka di mphathaga ka othe di re ke mote banduma ke feta ka pata ke ngwalenyana wa motokwa hana motokwana baka sthakene ke ba tseba ba feta ka pata ke ngwalenyana wa motokwa Motokwa, hana motokwana. I am the kind wind with mind. I send the sand to mend the land. I am nature. Mabule rena, riatwana. I am the philosophy that grows from the ground. That silent sound that rotates around your ground. I am nature. Mabule rena, riatwana. Ke letšubana la mebalabala la lefatshe. I am the lion that told its tales. I am nature. Mabule rena, riatwana. Thank you.
Shout out. So a little bit of your background. Where you from?
Okay, so ke ngwalanyana mo Tokwa. Setokwa is one of the languages that are not formalized or officialized in South Africa. So if ngwana wa Motokwa, you either should do Sepedi as literature or you must do Chivenda as literature. My language is one of those languages that are, in my mind, they are in the process of being ethnic cleansed. Ethnic cleansing is when there is a clan, right? And they sort of like, I don't know, the shitstem or whatever is trying to like wash it off to a point where in 20 years time or in 50 years time, the language or the clan no longer exists. So I feel like Setokwa is, or the clan Yabatokwa is one of those, because when my mom tells me the stories, there used to be traditional clothes, Jabatokwa, you know, traditional dance, traditional songs, but now we can't really find traditional clothes Jabatokwa or discars, and some people don't even know runale traditional clothes Jabatokwa. So Batokwa, they probably wear diaparo tša Balobedu or diaparo tša ba Venda or tša ba Pedi ka di Heritage Day, you know. But bagekolo ba sana le tsebo ya gore Batokwa re thaka re bo mang ho dialang, ra apara bjang, setšo sa rena se reng, polelo ya rena e thaka e utile bjano re be ona, and you know, all that. Setokwa also exists in Basotho ke Batlokwa. I ke tsebe if it's a clan, but I just know there's like people ke surname tša bona, and le ko Batswaneng ba ona Batokwa, I think ba apa polelo e different nyana. And then rena ka mo Batokwa mo South Africa re ko Limpopo. So I am in the, like, my journey is just trying to find a way to put Setokwa sa Yesu on the map, because Batokwa ba bang ba ona ba famous, but ababine ka Setokwa. Like, I'd really love to hear Yvonne Chaka Chaka me thangwe apa ka Setokwa, ba bina ka Setokwa, you know. Ke Mtokwa Huma Sekela ne le Motokwa, ke ba bantši Batokwa ba ileng gore like ba tsweletše pele ba atlehile mo bophelong, but Setokwa is not really one of those languages. Otherwise, now I was born, bred, still breeding in Alex, and I had always associated myself with nature. I believe that I am part of the flow of, you know, nature. I'm part of the trees, I'm part of the waters, I'm part of the mountains, I'm part of the, you know. So I think in my teen years, most of my poetry was mostly aligned to how I'm connected to the energy of the nature, you know, like trees and mountains and oceans and stuff like that. So yeah, that's me. I am nature.
Awesome. So when did you start poetry and why? Why do this?
Well, that's an interesting question. So I've always been a poet, it's just that I wasn't aware of it. But I'd have people coming in and being like, "Kopo recite la poem elo, kopo ngwalela poem elo," and I'd be like, poem effing. But then it happened when I was go Eastbank High 20, I can't remember 2000 and monk, but I was 15 years when I decided, you know what, I wanna beatbox. So I went to these guys. I was such an introvert back in the days and very reserved. So my friend went to these guys and, you know, abakopa on my behalf, Malebs and mutso rena ke nyako rap, and then bo Malebs batla go nna ba re ke ngwale like 4 lines ya rap, babo ai ke nna o ka ngwala poetry baba, futhi ke tla ka 8 lines. I'm like, aba futhi mina ngishaya itabule. Babitsa beatboxer mwele ba re kena ngwana. Some people were there because they probably wanted to hear my voice for the first time. I hardly spoke, and some people were obviously there because they wanted to hear this girl rap. And I was just out there reciting some poem. And niggas are like, nah, girl, that's a poem. And it's like, poem kanjani? Ke rata poetry. I ke khoni, I ke tsebe kanjani? They were like, no, girl, ke poetry. And then I went back, and after I discovered that, so the whole time when people say, kupongwale poem, kupongkeletsa poem, they actually knew I'm a poet. I just did not put myself in a position where I wanted to be present enough to discover that, So when I did, I took it with me. It was when I was 15. But I started writing when I was 9 years, got Msiwela Primary School. I used to write like fairy tales, inspired by Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, like all these stories that I used to read. And my dad taught me how to read when I was 5 years. Studying newspaper, imagine. But anyway, I'm so thankful to that. And I think maybe he did that because he's probably saw it in me, or I'm very inquisitive. I've always been like that inquisitive child. So from the age of, I think, 8 or something, I was like your dear diary girl. So 9 years now I was writing stories. But I officially started reading. This is officially, not, I didn't start reading at the age of 7, but I officially started reading at the age of 7. Because when I was 5, I was just reading like, those letters, words, like one word and stuff. But when I was 7, I was reading like a whole book, magazines. I was that child, Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, so very interesting. So who have you worked with ever since?
Yo, I've worked with so many beautiful and amazing people. I don't even know where to start. But my highlight is Lebu Mashile. Ha, guys, I worked with Lebu Mashile. Can you believe this? Yeah, I worked with Lebu Mashile. I worked with Nsiyeng Mokgoro. I worked with Selailo Maredi. I worked with Marcus Newstetter, Stephen Hobbs, Pauline Barton. I worked with Barbara Mhangami, Gina Shimakla, Eve Ansler. I worked with Ntate Khwenrizi Qubu. Hey, mina ngazi abantu. So Ntate Khwenrizi Qubu, there was a point where he was like literally inspiring my poetry. The privilege. Imagine, bruh. I've worked with Themba Mkhoma. I worked with Marcelo. I worked with Tenjiwe Sibongiseni Mswane. I worked with Lindast. I worked with Cyrus Beats. I worked with Star Cruz. If it's Masupoko, you know what I mean. I worked, he's such an amazing person, like Hutiman Cruz. Oh my god. I worked with Veloy. I worked with Jaime Sokupa. I worked with a lot of people, man. Ish. I also worked with like international artists. Yo, brah, like you putting me in a pedestal. People be like, why nasa bitsali bitsolaka? If I didn't call your name, I'm sorry. But I worked with like a whole lot of amazing people and a few celebrities as well. Yeah. And I mean, my highlight last year was when I went to Basetsana script writing workshop, and for the first time I met Napoma Shiani, and she was, the lecturer / facilitator. So I was like, and people were like, yo, you guys look alike. And I'm like, oh, so again, I also never get to. She's so amazing, so amazing. So those are the people that I look up to, that inspire me.
Yeah. So the country is now in flames. Quick message to the people.
Quick message. We can't change what we can't control. So Mudimu is the answer. And I know it sounds like a cliche, hore, a re rapeleng, as if things will change. But I feel like if we can come to ourselves, like our innermost being, then it'll be so much easier for us to work around the world that we're living in, because we will be able to see the other person and consider the other person. I really feel like it's very important for us to consider each other, be considerate, The only way we can hold each other's hands, unfortunately, is through prayer. If you believe in prayer, if you believe in ukphahla, is ukphahla. If you believe in meditating, is ukmeditator. If you believe in all of it, then it's all of it. If you believe in none, it has to be, whatever you believe in should, if you believe in none, it's okay. Just don't believe, as long as you are not harming the other person. Whatever it is, it should be of love, and it should be of restoring and healing. We need to heal. We can't move around as though we are okay when we are not. If we are not fine, we are not fine. We need to heal. And in this case, I feel like the healing should be like an individual work, unfortunately, It should be an individual work. The change should be an individual work. But most importantly, we need to remember our forefathers. And we need to ask ourselves, wherever they are, looking at the situation, will they be happy with us? Look at yourself and ask yourself, if your forefather was here, do you think he would be happy with you, with what you're doing now? I feel like that's all I can say. I don't really have a message or change halifas. My change is basically on my individual self, and I really believe, should people look at themselves and heal from their past traumas and connect to their innermost being, lebadimu, then there's no way we can be where we are, because this land is our forefathers' land. So, yeah.
Yeah. One final question. Where can we find you?
That's a great question. So I've been antisocial, but I'm trying. I'm really trying. You can find me on Facebook. At least that's like one place. Please like the page Lensula Boraro Kalaboraro on Facebook. Yes, Kenna Mantala Mache. That's my actual surname. Go Facebook, and you can follow me on Instagram at Mantala Nkwati. You can check out the exhibition work that we did. It's currently in New York, but New York David Kurtz projects. It's titled My Body's a Museum. It's so very beautiful work. We were mentored by Stephen Hobbs. It's a collaboration of myself, Zivanai Matangi, and the Trinity Session. The JDA, Johannesburg Development Agency, are literally like the sponsors of that work. You will most definitely like it. I don't want to say much about the work, but just check it out. And then you can also find me on, did I mention Instagram? Instagram at Mantala Nkwatsi. Yeah, and then that's it for now. I'm gonna open a channel very soon, and then you can see more of me.
Wow, fantastic.
Much love.